when I should have left myself alone. But I couldn't have, oh no, I couldn't have. I always open my gut when I shouldn't have, oh no, I shouldn't have.
Brother, thank you so much. This is truly an honor and a privilege, man. We're across seas, we're across land, connecting through this this crazy fitness thing. So I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm the honor to be here in this podcast across the ocean, a lot of ocean, right? Brazil and Australia is like a part of a planet, each part of a planet. So I appreciate that fitness and everything that is inside of this huge world that we call fitness bring us together.
Yeah, I find it like a one of the universal languages, you know, fitness. I think it's just a leveler. I think we really need to hold on to these things, especially in modern time. You know, we look towards things that separate us. We look towards things that place us within categories and boxes, and these categories and boxes get more and more niche, right? Like it's like, wait, hold on a minute. I've got all these fucking labels on me, and now I look to my left and my right, and I'm on my own now. Like I'm in a label of one, you know. And I think fitness is such a unique experience because everyone comes in and it might look a little different. Like granted, you know, like we might be doing burpees to a box, or you might be lifting about 500 kilos and me 20, but we're still doing something. Like it really is like a line, and we're all going to hold the same standard. And I find it beautiful. Like I put it in the same category as like music and magic, you know, and dance. You know, if you see something, you're like, wow, like somebody's singing. I don't understand what they're saying, but it's beautiful. Somebody's moving, and I want to move too. You know, and I think it's the same with fitness. Like somebody's putting in a lot of physical effort. You're like, wow, this is incredible. It's inspiring.
Yeah, and like it's one of the greatest thing in my routine. My daily routine, I see normal people with a lot of different styles and shapes of body and cultures in the same place, working out together, respect each other, and that's that. Like the beauty of especially CrossFit, because it's the methodology that I like, and the community part, get the common of the unit, and the unit is what brings us together. Work out throughout every like challenge that the gym just show for in front of us, and we know that is bigger and more beautiful when it's done with next to another person. So that probably is the main thing that makes me love this life that I live as a coach. Is like see two completely different people just together throughout one single shit that is unite them. You know what I mean? Like it's just of fitness, and that's just the beauty. Community. And I'm sorry, I swear.
No, fuck that. Like you say what you want, you know. It's I'm English, mate. You know what I mean? And I'm Northern as well, so we have quite fruity language. It gets a little it gets a little risque at times, but it's interesting speaking to different cultures, right? And what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable. And I always find it quite entertaining trying to tread that line whenever you change countries or areas within the same country. You meet different demographics. You meet different folks from different places, and you know, you might say a few things and you kind of just see these little twinkle in someone's eye, like, oh, okay, cool, I'm not going to say that again, that kind of offended a few people, let's carry on, you know. But we're all adults, and ultimately if we get a little knickers in a twist just because we say a few swear words, I get quite confused.
Yeah, it happens a lot because Brazil is like a country with a size of a continent, you know. It's huge. And I am in a city called Rio de Janeiro, Rio de Janeiro in my own language. And it's like a cosmopolitan place. A lot of people comes from different parts of Brazil just to work here in Rio. That's like a major, one of the major cities in the country. So sometimes I get someone from Northeast and someone for the East, and is a white guy working out with an Indian native, and the people get together, and because of it, different religions, different political sides, different everything, ideologies, and one of the main aspects that I respect from the coaching side, from the coaching aspect, it's you should see just a body moving, but you should understand the individual. So sometimes I talk about, like, I do a queuing using like a political side from a guy that I know that he will like it, and the same queuing from the different perspective, another political side in the same class. I'm like I'm Switzerland, you know what I mean, in the middle. So is the beauty of our job is because we always must like stand the situation and changing like a chameleon. We are like a chameleon here, and it makes me my role as a coach so dynamic, and that's why I love what I do. It was like so I cannot touch in this subject. I will do like a robot and be a political like okay, you know what I mean, like common sense will rules me. I won't do it probably.
I agree, man. You know, I agree. I think people ultimately seek out, whether they do it consciously or subconsciously, they seek out a space where everything is okay. You know, there's
Yes.
certainly going to be, you know, certain lines and certain things that we should be more
Yeah,
sensitive
for
towards,
sure.
and that's fantastic, and that's just us learning the individual, like you said, but a little bit more of a cultural stuff as well. So then we become this kind of jack of all trades, and a man with no flag, as a friend of mine once said back in the day. It was like, well, once you leave and you come back, you're the person who's changed, so you don't really fit in with your home country anymore. But when you've left and you're in a new country or a new space, you're not native to that land, so you don't really fit in there either, and you almost become this individual with no flag, right? Which I like to think about
Yeah.
it as like we just dissolve borders, and we're like, okay, well, now we need to learn people rather than countries,
Yes.
right? Rather than like sets of laws. This is how it works in the UK, in Brazil, in America, or whatever, or even in a specific state. You know, it's like, no. Now you need to learn people, and that is such a privilege. It's fucking difficult. Don't get me wrong, and
Yes.
like we get good at it by being bad at it, right? Like we get good by failing, and you say the wrong thing and you act a certain way, and it's like, oh, okay, I've rubbed that person up the wrong way. Go apologize, go figure it out. We need to learn them. We get back on the dance floor tomorrow, and we figure it out, and we keep going, you know.
It is. And I passed through this culture development being when I was 18, I moved to London by a scholarship. I arrived in that country, a beautiful country, but when you're a black guy and don't speak English, everywhere it's hard to fit in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And after that, I learned the language. I learned it, the boundaries that I should expand. That is, I'm not like alone in the country. So in this time, like 16 years ago, I learned how to treat people individually, but being part of a community. And probably that's why my business is successful now, because I understood in that time when I was young with a lot of mistakes, but before I have responsibilities like I do now, uh, in my own skin, I was like doing a lot of things that I shouldn't be doing, but I wasn't mature, a little bit older, and having this responsibility to lead by an example and build an environment that everyone fits in, because that's fitness bring everyone of any difference. And that probably when I said that here in Brazil is so hard to not be yourself and make a mistake because we have a lot of different kind of people. So after I understood that I will fail, but if I fail and learn and communicate that, oh, I'm sorry, I did not offend it. I want to learn it. What was the mistake that I did? After I learned that, you know, I have been traveling a lot, meeting a lot of people throughout this fitness journey, and always people said that you can do whatever you want with this smile on your face, this bright in your eyes, because even if you do some shit, it's like we know that you do not want to offend people. So it's like, it's the posture that gratefully is my daily behavior, you know. I do what I love, I talk what I think it's right in the moment. But if I made a mistake, I will just say apologize and teach me how I should do, and I just learn, you know. It's like a common sense. If people have people that want to develop themselves, they understand that they never like made a mistake. They create an opportunity to learn. So that's how I live here.
For sure, man. I think that's a lesson for life. You know, like I think we just got to place our heart on our sleeve and speak from it as often as we can. You know, just be truly a real person. You know, and people understand like the intention behind it. You know, they're like, oh, that kind of
Yeah.
missed the boat, but like, okay, cool. Like we'll get there. You know, it's like throwing darts at a darts board and we keep on missing. I was like, great, but keep chucking the fucking dart. You know, one day you're gonna hit that bullseye.
Yeah.
You know, like it's fine. We're
That,
gonna get the
that's
group
it.
in a little bit closer, and it's gonna get closer and closer still. And that's what our coaching is like. You know, we learn on the job,
It is for sure.
brother. I want to learn, and I want to talk about this coaching connection.
Oh, that's awesome. Uh, just passing through a quick, broad view of my life here in Brazil. In 2017, I discovered CrossFit, and when I discovered CrossFit in 2017, I fell in love as a athlete, not an athlete, but but I wanted to work out to get healthier, and I like the environment. I don't like the name athlete because looks like I'm gonna be some like competitor, but I'm not. You know what I mean? And when I fell in love, I was already personal training. And one thing that I learned really fast in this early on career in the black floor was that major people do wrong. The majority on the world not do the thing like the manual says. And that gets me really like on my veins because I'm a study guy, you know what I mean? So when I read something and I saw the majority of the word doing wrong, not wrong, but different of the manual, some didactic shit is going on between the manual and the applicability. You know what I mean? So this like this route is not doing okay. Something is going on, and because of it, I did my L1 on the end of 2017, and I did with a guy that there is no space to you have a doubt because he has a great answer for anything. It's Chuck Carswell, and it was like a present. It's a gift to me because he never come to Brazil and he was here. And because of the contact of this guy in my L1, my CrossFit career was so attached. People that really lived throughout the manual and was from different perspective. I wasn't listening what the street says about CrossFit. I was trying to figure it out the clearly fountain of CrossFit that I could. And I did my L2 6 months, just like 6 months later. And 8 months later, I did my L3. And everything I was looking for is try to be close to the source as possible. Because for me, in my vision of my own life, if I pass through this common sense of what is a affiliate box of CrossFit, or what is cross training, what if I pass through the mediocre view in my country, I will succeed. And because of this clarity of my thoughts, I get through, and I became a big reference here in Brazil. And I was, because I love to write, I start to communicate what I was doing in my own box. Not, I wasn't the owner. I was just an employee. But in COVID-19, 2020, the guy that have the ownership of my affiliate broke, and he said, "I will close that shit. That doesn't get profitable. It's not worth." I say, "I don't care. It's my second home. I have a bike. I can sell everything that I have just to try to save this place, because for me, it's most important thing after my family is to work here, doing what I love, and preaching and applying my knowledge, because I was loud, but I was also with my hands on the job, like doing what I was talking about, what was should doing, yeah, people should be doing. And I bought my affiliate in 2020, and after that, my affiliate just grow. Every single month we grow. We have 360 clients in Vila CrossFit. Is an awesome size for a small neighborhood in Rio, and because of my this path about I'm a trainer and now I should be a business owner, I thought search for some reference, some person that has already lived this route, this shift between being just a coach to become affiliate owner. And because I learned in English in UK and I was L3, I searched for L4 from UK, and I found Carl Stedman, a great friend of mine now. But in that time, I just asked for a call, and he said, just reach me out. And we talked a little bit, and after that, my life just changed. This guy, for me, is like, it's more than just a person that I admire. He is my personal friend now. And after we never have met yet, we will meet in my initiative called Coaching Connection, but he is part of my routine. We talked about football, we talked about CrossFit, of course, we talked about everything. And because of that, I start to try to figure out a way to keep close to for me, the biggest names of CrossFit, not just because of the title, but because of the presence and attitude, because of the leadership, because of this kind of do the right things for the right things for the right people. Okay, but with integrity, like Rob Lawson said to me once. So I have been close to these guys, trying to just share the knowledge of the old continent, right? Europe, and also the US. I try to bring those guys close to my culture. We're from Brazil, beautiful place, but we are young country. And we are young and not to develop it like we could. So I try to change the world around me. And my world is fitness. So I try to make a difference, and I won't do alone. So I always try to get these major names close to my country, close to my community, to help them. So Coaching Connection appears like this. It was a dream. Meet Carl Stedman, of course, my friend, and it was a dream to bring someone like Denise Thomas too, because she's a great name. So, and she has a lot of energy. I was just thinking about two people that was a perfect call for perfect fit throughout our culture. Like the language probably will be some like something that could make the communication get a little bit dizzy, but not the attitude, because those two guys, they just it's like it's a wave of love, of coaching, and of like I felt truth, like when I saw these guys talking about what they do, for me it's just truth. So I try to read them, then just inviting to Brazil, and they say yes. So after that, is all my job is try to make that happen. It's happening.
Brother, it's
I'm sorry, too long answer.
no, please. Like, it looks intriguing and enticing, and I find it so uplifting for the future of folks coming together and batting off ideas. I've been like, okay, well, it's almost the old guard comes in to teach the new guard how things are meant to be done in a way. And it's like, it never is, here's a script, just speak from this script on the next one, and we can just keep passing it forward. I was like, I don't think that's what it is. This L1 manual is the most complete thing I think I've ever read.
Yeah.
And when I speak to other coaches, they say the same thing. However, our interpretation of it on the dance floor with the demographic that we see in the country, in the place, with our experience, with their experience, it all ends up morphing in a way to the individual day, the individual in front of us, how we show up. So I think there's always lessons and little pieces of magic that we can then share for each other from this same piece of sauce. It really is a beautiful thing. And I think bringing folks together that have been doing it successfully, very successfully, for a long ass time, and who all share a common thought of growth and curious mindset, and then be like, let's just pick your brain. Let's get you out of your hometown, bring you into a new spot, which might make them feel a little bit uncomfortable, which is great. And let's try and like morph it together to fit this demographic in Brazil, in Rio, in whatever, and then give it back. How can we then prove or at least teach in a way it was like, this is the cultural thing going on. I remember in, I think it was my L1 or L2, I had Carl. He was the flow master for both of them. He's also a very, very close friend of mine. And I remember him making a comment of, HQ said, you can't swear when you take the seminars, right? And he basically looks at him with like this raised eyebrow and a little bit of a, look in his eye, and he goes, if I take an L1 seminar in the middle of Glasgow and I don't swear within the first 2 sentences, they're not going to take me seriously. And I think about it quite regularly. It's just like, we need to be able to adapt how we teach, to the people in front of us. Sometimes you're going to have to be really politically correct because folks are, in a way, I would put it, precious. And then other ways, you just be like, right, this is going to be a no holds barred renegade show. Strap in, keep your arms inside the fucking cart the whole time, and let's just have a good time. And I think coming together and being able to share that from 4 corners of the world, it's a privilege, mate.
It is, and I agree 100%. The role of a coach is not to interpretate a role. You cannot interpretate. Now I'm Sergio, the coach. I'm Sergio every time. And we spend a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of days in different times of the day, like in morning, in late night. We always be, when you're in the spotlight, we cannot fake actions. So I agree that sometimes rules, of course, meant to be followed, especially in a business side. But in my business, if someone tried to be so political correct that looks fake, I'd rather think about my own roots. You know what I mean? I'm okay if you swear, because here in Brazil, it's not okay. That's good movement. Yes, fucking good movement, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, brother, we have Latin blood. in, it, I don't want to be so okay, because okay for me is not enough. Okay is just enough. And the beauty of the life is after the enough side.
Yeah.
So that's why I agree with him. And sometimes it's just being you. And that's the first step that should be taken by someone that want to change other lives. And L1 environment is a change of life. My life changed in L1. And wasn't because Chuck was so polite, was because he talked about T.I., a rapper from Georgia, that I like it. You know what I mean?
I mean, ultimately, we want members to be themselves, right? So we're going to empower them to show up to any environment as themselves, wear the heart on their sleeve, and have the confidence in their own competency, right? And if we are then inauthentic and not ourselves, then what type of fucking thing are we showing here? I was like, oh, do as I say, not as I do. I was like, that's not coaching, dude.
No, at all. No.
You have to be
that's
real.
one thing that I always said to my crew, that I will never give you a feedback that is about behave like style. I don't give feedbacks by style. Everyone has yours. But if I saw something that I interpreted that you are doing a style that is not yours, I will give this feedback by style, because you're faking. And people do not trust in fake people.
Yeah.
So
true.
it's like, we are what we are. Do what you love and care with people, and it's still gonna be okay. You know, that's not only one way to coach, but the wrong way is try to fake.
we are what we are, you know.
Yeah.
I think most folks try and hide away from it, because I think they're also scared of embarking on the journey of figuring out who they actually are. I think that journey is quite scary, right?
It is, but it's the journey of life, right?
Of course.
People try to talk about deep stuff in using a lot of projections, a lot of hypotheses, and the deep stuff is living in flesh and blood. You know, you should just feel. And like, I did a lot of shit in my life. I still doing. Probably I did some mistake just in the afternoon. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I live without a fear to hurt someone more than I hurt myself. So if I should do something that breaks my heart just because I will appear great for someone, I don't do that. I respect myself, and I understand that if I respect myself, I will know myself. And if I know myself, people will start to look at me like someone that they trust. And we talked about deep shit here, but it's also applied by box jump fear. You know what I mean? People look at me and say, baby, you're more than fine to jump. Just come to me. And they jump. Because they see truth in my eyes, because they see the confidence of someone that does box jump too. So I cannot split the aspect of coaching just about like, oh, you should see correcting, teaching, demonstration. It's not that. You should be a fucking great person that cares about others. You should understand your mission as a coach. It's not about you, it's about everyone else besides of you. But you should know that the major thing, if you're not enjoying yourself, if you don't believe that the role of coaching is for you, do another thing, because otherwise it's just spending the time. That's probably the richest thing that we have is time. We're just spending like for no reason. So self-development, that is one of the major things that I talked about with my crew, with my mentorship program, I always talk about like, okay, we have like 3 major pillars of success. Is this coaching, like straight coaching, business side, and self-development. Because if you don't take care of these 3 pillars, you're gonna bust out. You know what I mean? It's not gonna work.
Brother, I got a question.
Ask me, please.
What are the 3 words you would tell your younger self?
What do you mean?
So if you were having a conversation with your younger self, so you 10, 15 years ago, and you could only tell them 3 words, it could either be 3 individual words or you can make a sentence, which is 3 words long.
All right. Yeah. I think my first advice will be, if you believe it's gonna be right, but you're scary, do anyway. That's the first thing. And like the common sense of this quote, like regret to not doing is the worst regret that you can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you believe it's the right thing and you're scary, do it, because the butterfly in the stomach is telling you that you should do. And I did a lot of times that shit, but I will still remember myself, this curiosity, this fearless wanting to make like the life better, you know. I'm from poor neighborhood. Like today I have a great life. I have the family that I'm building with my wife. I have my motorbike, I have my affiliate, I have a beautiful house. And always because I bet on my gut, you know, and I will reinforce that for my young one, you know, still doing that shit because it pays off. Yeah. The second thing is be away, be as far as you can for people that looks like it's not trustable. Even if they have like a great position, great influence, if they don't seem trustable, just run as far as you can, because that shit kills you in somehow. It's like a snake. So believe in yourself and do not believe in who looks like fake. And probably the third, probably the third is do never be away from people that you give you something with no reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like your mother. My mother gave me the life. She sold everything that she had everywhere, like always, to put some food in my mouth. So people that do things for you with no reason, just do never go away from them. It's like Carl, you know? He gave me one advice in 2020 and I never let him go again. And my mom's like that. I have some great friends. And sometimes when I was young, I let some great folks be away just because the ego and the maturity was in the wrong place. So people that gives you something and help you with something without any want to give you, for you to give back, you know, something in exchange, keep these guys close to you. I'm sorry, I did it long too. I get extended.
No.
I talk too much.
It's a privilege, man. Thank you so much.